ICE has been getting pushback in cities like Minneapolis, but White House Press Secretary Caroline Levin is calling out Democrats for adding fuel to the fire by criticizing our federal agents. And here is one of those left-wing lawmakers spreading anti-ICE rhetoric.
We're still pretending that ICE is going after dangerous people. They aren't. Right now, 70% of the people that they are detaining have absolutely no criminal record. What's happening in Minnesota right now is a dystopia. ICE is tear gassing elementary schools. It is disappearing legal residents into cars. It is murdering American citizens. The Constitution is being abandoned by this administration right now as we speak. And so our focus over the next 2 weeks has to be reining in a lawless and immoral immigration agency in this nation.
Former acting DHS Secretary and the America First Policy Institute Chair of Homeland Security and Immigration, Chad Wolf, joins me now. Chad, thank you so much for joining us. So it is clear that we are living in a world where Republicans and Democrats could not view the same operation more differently. Can you respond to the senator's comments there where he said that ICE is not going after dangerous people and 70% of those detained do not have a criminal record?
Well, again, it's just not true. You know, the senator made a number of statements. Hard to start. But look, ICE is doing its job, whether it's going after criminal illegal aliens or just those with a final order of removal, which the senator, of course, doesn't mention. There's about 2 million illegal aliens here in the United States that have had their due process, that have seen an immigration judge, and the immigration judge has given them a final order of removal, which means they need to deport themselves. They don't do that, of course. And so ICE has to go out and pick these individuals up and remove them. The senator wants you to believe that ICE is somehow immoral for doing its job, effectuating a judge's order and going out there and removing these individuals. He needs to take a look at the law. He needs to take a look at the law that Congress passed, that he and his colleagues passed that told ICE to do this. But let me just go back to that West Virginia operation. You have over 600 arrests there. You didn't see chaos on the streets of West Virginia, right? Because local law enforcement helps ICE. It's only in Democratic-run cities and sanctuary cities where you see this chaos happen. And so in the process, the left puts up roadblocks for ICE in sanctuary cities. Chaos happens. And then, of course, what do they want to do? They want to shut down government, or they want to put even more limitations on ICE. This is just another way to get towards defunding and abolishing ICE.
So, Chad, there were more than 300 protests that took place this weekend across the country in what organizers called ICE out of everywhere. And we saw some of those protests turn violent. One turned into a riot in Eugene, Oregon. President Trump posted this on Truth Social. He says, "I've instructed Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem that under no circumstances are we going to participate in various poorly run Democrat cities with regard to those protests and or riots unless and until they ask us for help." So how is this different than what was previously happening, and why does this matter?
Well, I think what President Trump is saying is, look, you know, we're happy to help, but we're going to need an invitation from local police. You know, if Minneapolis and others don't want us there, then we're going to take that in consideration because of what happened. Now, on the same flip side, he's saying, but we will go in to protect federal buildings and other assets there. We're not going to let them continue to vandalize, continue to go after those facilities and those officers. So I think he's, again, saying we'll continue to protect what is ours. But as far as sending in massive amounts of assets and resources, we're going to need a request from those local, whether it's local mayor or the local governor.
Okay, so zeroing in on New York City, Mayor Zohran Mamdani, Chad, is expected to sign a bill barring ICE from operating out of all New York City correctional facilities. So the difference is that under Mayor Adams, jails could allow ICE into their facilities to pick up illegal criminal migrants. Now this bill would bar that from happening. And this is happening as the New York Post is reporting a judge allowed an alleged sexual predator, illegal migrant, who was wanted by ICE to freely leave a city courthouse after he was arrested for allegedly shoplifting. Let this person out the back door, and then ICE had to chase them down the street. What do you make of Zohran Mamdani's latest moves and what this means for New York City?
Yeah, this is a significant setback for New York City. This is a dangerous move by the mayor. I don't understand why you wouldn't want ICE to go into a jail setting, which is very secure. You already have an illegal alien who's in jail, and before you let him out, ICE comes in, detains that individual, and then removes them from the country because, again, they don't have any legal right to remain here in the United States. Instead, what Mayor Zamdani is doing is saying, no, we're going to release them. We're not going to let you into Rikers. We're going to release them. And you've got to send 20 officers into a neighborhood to try to find this individual, locate them, detain them, remove them, all the while, it's very dangerous. Neighbors are watching, and, it has the potential to spiral out of control. That's what the mayor is doing. So it's an ironic twist that if he actually wants to protect his residents, you would actually let ICE into a jail setting like Rikers instead of making them go out into the neighborhoods to find these folks.
And finally, Chad, that's a back and forth that's going on in Minneapolis, too, because you have Tom Homan, who last week said that Keith Ellison, the attorney general in Minneapolis, said that jails could work with ICE. And then the AG came back and said, no, I never agreed to that. So do you know what's actually happening on the ground there?
Well, again, I think it's a negotiation going back and forth. And my guess is that the attorney general and others got a lot of pushback from your far left agitators and others who don't want to cooperate with ICE at all. They believe that any negotiations with ICE is not good. But the reality is, if you want to draw down the number of assets there in Minneapolis, if it's 3,000 and you want to draw that down to a couple hundred, if that, then you let them into the jail because they don't need the additional ICE officers in your neighborhood. This is basic common sense. This is basic public safety. Detaining individuals that are already in jail before they're released back into communities. I don't understand why that's controversial. It hasn't been controversial in ICE's history for over the last 2 decades that they've been inside the department doing this mission. They did it under President Obama. But somehow, because it's President Trump, everyone's against it.
Yeah, and it's a fight that's impacting the federal government as well. We call it a partial government shutdown, but as a huge part, 78% in impacting important agencies like the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, and Transportation. Chad Wolf, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insight as always.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.